Hey, what's up guys? It's the consumer talking to you here, and today I want to talk about 2 or 3 different stories that have came out in the last week, and I think they are pretty important to end up the week because I think that these 3 stories, both of them are good and one of them is not that good. I think that we should be excited in one way, but I think we should temper our expectations because one of them just tells us how far can a leak go if you start to improvise and you start to go over with the hype. So in this video, I will talk about the iPad Pro's newest design, the iPad Air most recent rumor, and the iPhone 14's disappointment. So if you are excited for this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm not asking much of you, but I would like you to subscribe to keep up with my latest videos, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you receive the notification as soon as my videos come out. So no further ado, let's get started. In the first story of today, I think that it's pretty important to temper our expectations because the iPad Air is coming out. Yes, according to tech blog Makatakara, the iPad Air is coming out this year. A new refurbished iPad Air will be closer to the iPad mini newest features with the A15 chip, with center stage, with even better speakers, and of course, like the iPad mini with a new True Tone flash. This is the small upgrade that we have had for the iPad Air in a while because the latest 2 upgrades were a design change. But the iPad Air deserves this attention because it's right now stands in a very weird place. For just more than $100 when compared to the iPad mini, the iPad Air actually gives you less than the iPad mini. It gives you no center stage, less and worse speakers, and it doesn't give you True Tone flash. That's quite weird considering that the iPad mini is $100 cheaper, but it's only a smaller size display, but in terms of everything else, it's even better than the iPad Air. So expect an upgrade to the iPad Air as soon as this year, at least at the beginning of the year, with probably the launch of the March event. So I think that with this March event, we'll see tons of new products like the iPhone SE 2022 with the same design as the current SE, but with 5G. Then we will see, of course, the iPad Air with the newest design, which is the iPad mini's design, the iPad Air 6 design, which is the current iPad Air, and of course the double speakers, the True Tone flash, and the A15 chip. Expect that, in my opinion. Then, of course, we will have even more products than we are currently expecting, but those will be a surprise because we are not even considering, although in my opinion we should see a new iPhone 13, a new color, just like the last 2 years we had purple's iPhone 11 and purple iPhone 12. So let's see how color we will see on the iPhone 13s, but I'm pretty excited to see if Apple will launch a new iPhone 13 in March or April event, because Mark Gurman has confirmed this event, saying that we will see an event around the March to April timeline. This year is no specifying which month will be, because last year he got it wrong. He said it would be on March and ended up being on April. So let's see if we will see a new product on March or April event, but for now expect an iPhone SE 2022, and like I told you, the current and most designed iPad Air with some new updates to match the iPad mini's updates that we got on September with the iPhones. Then, for the second story and second tech news of today, I got for you the iPad Pros. Yes, I made a video recently talking about the iPad Pros where I said that the iPad Pro will get a huge redesign with the glass back, with wireless charging, MagSafe, and all of these new cool features that would enable the iPad Pro a ton of new uses and workflows. But according to Mark Gurman and even more reliable leakers, we won't see the glass back anymore. That design has been scrapped. According to Mark Gurman, this design was too fragile, and Apple, while testing it, found out that it wasn't good. So the prototype was scrapped and this design was scrapped. So according to Gurman, we will likely see an increased size Apple logo, which in terms of will be made of glass, so it will enable wireless charging. Max Tech did an amazing render, and here it is, showing you how it will look with a huge Apple logo. With the bigger Apple logo to show you that this iPad Pro will enable coils behind it. So here you can see that the Apple logo is on horizontal way because Dylan DKD told us that this iPad Pro will focus on horizontal way of use. So instead of using it on portrait, you will use it on landscape. So of course the Apple logo went into landscape mode. But like I told you, the Apple logo is way bigger to support MagSafe charging. Now you could couple your MagSafe puck there and it boom starts charging. This MagSafe puck will be reverse wireless charging, so you'll be able to use your Magic Keyboard with it without using the smart connector. Yes, I do believe that the smart connector at least is going away, or it's going to lose most of its use, because the Magic Keyboard will be powered by MagSafe with the reverse wireless charging technology that we see actually on the MagSafe battery pack right now. So yes, I do believe that Apple is putting this so you can use even more accessories with the iPad Pro, and it will build even more on their MagSafe ecosystem, so other companies can build keyboards around MagSafe and pay Apple an extra and a royalty, or they can even build other stuff like camera samples and camera holdings, or a hold so you can connect to an external display. So a ton of new things that will enable you to be powered by the iPad Pro's battery life. So I'm very excited for that, and also will enable reverse wireless charging for AirPods Pro, and of course your iPhones or even other phones if you want to, because right now you can charge your iPhone via USB-C and charge other accessories via USB-C for the iPad Pro, but it will be pretty cool if you can get wireless charging. But like I told you, Mark Gurman has told us that the glass pack won't be happening because it was too fragile, and that was one of my doubts in my latest video on the newest design for the iPad Pro, was the resistance and the strength of the glass pack on such a big but thin device like the iPad Pro. And so Apple has decided to go for a bigger Apple logo made of glass. That was actually one of my suggestions in that video. So if Apple has listened and watched my video, thank you, finally, for the first time. But I don't think they did. I think they were already thinking about it, because that's pretty obvious if you think so. But of course, this is a pretty cool steel design, and if there happens to be a bigger Apple logo on the iPad Pro, that would be pretty cool, and that will be a cool design change for people to distinguish the newest design for the iPad Pro and the older design for the iPad Pro. So I do think that's a thing that Apple could do or will do in the future, but at least do not expect this iPad Pro until the end of 2022. Because if Apple is in the prototype stage right now, then it needs to enter mass production, and only by the end of the year we'll let them have that iPad Pro ready. So I do think that this iPad Pro will be launched this year, but around the October to November timeline, if you ask me. And for the final story of today, we got, of course, the iPhone 14. Let's milk this cow even further, and let's talk about the iPhone 14. Shall we? Because the iPhone 14 has got some stunning leaks recently. A lot of leakers have been saying that the iPhone 14, the normal models, the 14 and the 14 Max, could see 120Hz displays, the most current technology from Apple. But let me disappoint you. In the beginning, when I first heard about that, I was quite doubtful, and I didn't make a video because I didn't thought it was good enough and reliable enough to make a video about it. So now we got some reports saying that that's bullcrap. That's not going to happen. Apple is not going to put 120Hz on their iPhone 14 normal models, because that's going to destroy their lineup. If you put 120Hz on an iPhone 14, which costs $799, or even an iPhone 14 Max that will cost $899, then why would you buy the bigger iPhone 14 Pro Max? Just because of the cameras? No one cares. You have 2 out of the 3 cameras, you have the same display, you have the same design, the same battery, the same size. No one's going to spend $200 to $300 more for an extra telephoto camera. So, of course, it's not believable, for me at least, that Apple will introduce promotion technology on their displays. Don't think it makes any sense to do so, and Apple won't put 120Hz just so, without the promotion technology, because that causes a lot of problems in terms of battery life. So I do think that Apple will put a 60Hz display on their next iPhone 14. Maybe in the future, when they find something cool to put on the Pro models, then they will simply put and add promotion by lowering the value of the iPhone 14 normal model, or even the future normal model, like for example adding periscope lens to the iPhone 14 Pro or 14 Pro Max, or the Pro Max in that year. When you decide to add the periscope lens, maybe that's enough to lower down the promotion technology to the normal models. But until then, I don't believe Apple will put a Pro feature and a headline feature for the Pro lineup in the normal models just to cannibalize their Pro lineup. So what are your thoughts on these leaks? Do you think that Apple will put the promotion technology on their normal models and cannibalize their Pro models? Or do you think that we'll simply just do not put anything and put a 60Hz display on the iPhone 14 and 14 Max, which in my opinion will be the best seller of Apple's lineup? I think that the iPhone 14 Max will sell like hotcakes because it's a bigger sized iPhone 14, and it will have an amazing battery life like the iPhone 14 Pro Max has, and it will have almost all of the features of the iPhone 14 Pro Max with the 6.7-inch display, but it will be 60Hz, only 2 cameras, and $899. So even cheaper than the iPhone 14 Pro, which has extra lens but has worse battery life, and it has promotion but it's not as big of a display. So those are two things you will have to decide between these two phones with a difference of $100. Probably the Pro models will start at 256 gigabytes because there are some leakers saying that. Some leakers suggest that the Pro model iPhones could start at 256 gigabytes of storage to differentiate them from the normal lineup like they did with the iPhone 12s. But in my opinion, if you ask my opinion, I do believe so. Yes, I do believe that Apple will bump up the Pro storage for 256 because right now they are limiting the 128 gigabyte Pro iPhones for 1080p at 30 on the ProRes. So yes, I do think that Apple will bump up to 256 just to keep the standard on the iPhone Pro models. So in my opinion, yes, the Pro models will suffer some changes this year, but of course the iPhone normal models will be the focus, like the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Max. No, they won't have promotion, but yes, they will be even increased in value this year. But what are your thoughts on these leaks? Do you think that the iPad Air will be coming this year? Are you excited to buy one? In my opinion, it's still not a good deal. You can get an iPad Pro refurbished for even less, and in my opinion, 120Hz D12X and the ProMotion display just makes a ton of difference, not to talk about the speakers and everything else. Of course, I do prefer the iPad Pro refurbished on 2018 or even 2020. But what are your thoughts on the iPad Air? And talking about the iPad Pro, what do you think of the new design? Instead of going for a glass back, going for a big Apple Glass logo, what do you think? Going for a landscape usage and put everything on landscape, the camera, the logo, what do you think? Going for a reverse wireless charging technology, those technologies are incredible. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. And of course, don't get fooled by these leakers talking about the iPhone 14. That's the easiest way they can get clicks, is telling you that the iPhone 14 and 14 Max will get promotion, and you will get all excited, and then on the day of the launch you will get very, very disappointed. So do not forget to follow my channel to get the real news, the real leaks. I will also talk about products, review products, and if you are interested in that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and this was Tech Consumer talking to you here. Bye.